On Capitol Hill, Democratic lawmakers are also raising their voices. They're refusing to back down. One of them is making serious waves, and he is joining us this morning. And I'm talking about Congressman Robert Garcia of California. He is here. We have been speaking to him. He is doing it the right way. He is encouraging you to fight back as well. And I don't know if you guys all remember this. This is the moment that I said, you know what, Congressman, you got some cojones, okay? You really do, because he was speaking at a committee hearing, and he talked about a congresswoman a person who showed a dick pic on the House floor. And he said, I've got to show you a dick pic. And this is what he did. Watch.
Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Green, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a dick pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election. He has billions of dollars in conflicts of interest. And we know that he is leading a power grab, also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump and, of course, the chairwoman, Congresswoman Green.
How are you?
Good. Happy to be here.
Hey, great. Listen, so I understand that you want to be ranking member on the Oversight Committee. What do you think? Are you equipped for that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I first of all, oversight is at the heart of what we do in Congress. It's important that the Oversight Committee, which I'm a member of, keeps Donald Trump and the powerful accountable to the American public. And so there are 4 members of our committee that are looking at it, all incredible people, all good friends. And so we'll see what happens in the weeks ahead. The election's still a month out, but I think all of us are excited to ensure that people are held accountable and that we're reforming government to work better for the American public.
Look, you're young and you have energy. And look, I know that the party's been saying you need to respect, at least seniority or what have you. But I think it's important for the Democratic Party, you respond to however you want, to get some young and energetic voices in there instead of relying on some of the folks who have been around for a while, which we respect. But the people want what they want. And I think the people want you. They want people like you. They want people like Jasmine Crockett and folks who are meeting the people where they are and coming onto spaces like this to talk to them, to reach them.
Look, I think one of the best things about our party is always strongest when we're bringing in diverse voices, where we have not just are respecting members that have seniority and experience, but also bringing in fresh energy from younger members with diverse perspectives and backgrounds. I think everyone should be at the table. We've got a big job ahead of us to ensure that everyone across our coalition is supported and uplifted. And I think it's something that this Democratic caucus and certainly our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is committed to.
I want to talk about what happened at one of the committee hearings when you brought out the picture of Elon Musk and you said, in quote, it was a dick pic or whatever. But people liked it. And I think people they want the Democrats to be real people and to speak like real people and to act like real people. And I think that was one of those moments that people had been longing for. Now, this week, Elon Musk announced that he is leaving the Trump administration. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, Elon Musk has been horrific for this country and for the government. I think he came in, of course, wanting to slash and burn our government, our federal agencies, donated more than anybody else to Donald Trump for his election. Of course, he's out there talking about how much money he's going to throw at primaries. And what's happened is, yes, he has certainly been destructive and been chaotic, but House Democrats, our leadership, the courts have also done a great job of stopping some of his worst ideas. Have they caused major damage? Absolutely. Have they tried to attack the Department of Education, attack, of course, USAID, made really some progress in this kind of horrific approach to what government should be? They have done some of that. At the same time, I think the chaos that Elon Musk has tried to unleash, some of the worst ideas have been stopped and slowed down by the courts. So for that, we should be grateful for. At the same time, Even though Elon Musk is saying that he wants to leave the government, he should and must be held accountable for what he's done just over the course of the last few months. Why are investigations against his companies being essentially dismissed in the government? Why is he trying to influence what contracts his companies get? Why has he had access to personal information of Americans across this country? So those questions are questions that must be asked and that he must answer to and be held accountable for. Just because he's leaving the government does not dismiss the accountability, does not dismiss the answers, the questions that we're going to have, and the answers that we expect to get back.
Do you think that you are going to be able to get those answers? Because pretty much now, just as they have ignored, you mentioned the courts have been great, but they have ignored some of the court's order, federal judges. And they seem to have ignored and are marginalizing the legislative branch of the government. So how will you get those answers that are satisfying not only to you, but to the American people?
Look, I think first is we have to do everything we can through the Oversight Committee and other committees to hold Elon Musk and his companies accountable. Now, there's a certain amount that we can do, certainly in the minority, but you can best believe that when we get the majority back, that we're going to focus on ensuring that Elon Musk and his cronies and his Doge team and his companies are held accountable to the American public. It is outrageous that you have essentially the world's richest man trying to interfere in who gets federal contracts, that is trying to take away healthcare from hardworking people, that is trying to take away the education access for children with disabilities across this country, all so he can enrich himself and his corporate friends even more. And so we have a responsibility to call out that corruption, to call out the lies, and at the same time, do the investigative work. The Trump family and Elon Musk are raiding the federal coffers to enrich themselves and their billionaire friends. And we've got to be fearless in the way we call that out. And that's going to include not just the investigations we do, even when we don't have the majority, but especially so when we have broader subpoena power in the Congress.
With the understanding that as an advisor, so to speak, he could only serve, what I think it was 130 days out of 365 days. And he's saying his time is over. But I'm wondering if you believe that, well, in order to avoid conflict of interest, right, and for certain financial disclosures, he got a lot out of it. He got a lot of lawsuits, I guess, dropped, and even oversight of his companies. He got rid of those people. So it's interesting that now he is leaving, and on his way out, he is criticizing the big, beautiful bill that is so important to Donald Trump because it's the only real thing that he's done besides executive orders. Do you think this is amicable? Is this an amicable breakup, a conscious uncoupling?
I do not. And in fact, I actually think he would have stayed longer. I mean, he could care less. I mean, first of all, Elon Musk doesn't care about how long he could be a special employee for or care about the timing, nor does Donald Trump. I think a lot of us expected him to stay on longer. I think what's happened clearly is that you're starting to see that rift between him, Donald Trump, and as important, if not more, the way his companies are tanking in the stock market, the way that those who have invested in his companies are now calling him out. And he's feeling the heat through Tesla, through the contracts at SpaceX. He realizes that his political involvement is actually hurting the companies and his bottom line. At the end of the day, Elon Musk cares about his bottom line. And so I think that he is doing this out of convenience. He realizes that he's massively hurt his companies. He'll continue to do so, and that he is not getting what he wants. He wanted cuts to go further. He wanted the destructive bill to be even worse than it currently is. And so he's someone that's he's completely delusional in what he wants. And so I think that, yes, he's using this as an excuse, but also at the same time, I imagine that a lot of the Donald Trump people were probably sick of him by now.
Where's the evidence? Well, he came in saying, I'm going to get rid of, I'm at $2 trillion in waste. Where are there any receipts for that?
Look, Doge has definitely cut some amount of federal funding. I mean, they've really damaged a lot of our agencies, whether it's foreign aid or providing support to Public Corporation for the Arts.
Not to mention the brain drain that.
Absolutely. So the getting rid and providing all these kind of payouts for folks that we're actually losing, kind of these civil servants across the government, that's all real. So there's been real damage done to our agencies. But I think what Elon Musk has realized is that the American public also fight back. And we've seen people out there protesting these Tesla dealerships every week. We've seen people choosing to turn in their cars. We've seen people asking tough questions about SpaceX. And that has actually hurt his shareholders, his companies, and himself. So people push back on Elon Musk. He's realizing it. He's seeing his companies be destroyed in front of him. He's seeing his influence at the Oval Office being diminished by the types of cuts he wanted to see did not get codified in Donald Trump's insane, whatever kind of bill that he wants to call it. And so I think all of that has led to Elon Musk leaving, not really on his terms, but making an excuse as to why he's gone.
Do you think that he has done? Look, I think the reports came out yesterday that sales in Europe are for Tesla down 49%, and we know that they're down significantly here in the United States. I was giving an anecdote earlier on one of my streams that I see people when they order Ubers now, and if a Tesla shows up, they cancel it and they order another car. Do you think he's done permanent damage, at least brand, to the image, at least of his company?
I mean, 100%. I mean, Tesla has become a disaster of a brand. Why would you ever want to politicize a brand and certainly a company that was inclusive of folks that really believed in sustainability and climate and wanting to make the world a better place? He literally tanked his brand with the people that were buying his actual cars. And anyone that I know that has a Tesla has either sold it, wants to get rid of it, or has some sticker on the back saying, I bought this before Elon Musk.
Or lost his mind. That's what they'll say. I lost this before Elon Musk.
Exactly. I think it's tanked his brand.
I want to ask you about. I've been impressed with the work that you've done surrounding migrants and undocumented immigrants to this country in El Salvador. Andre Hernandez Romero, the gay makeup artist who was sent to a gulag in El Salvador. So you brought awareness to his plight. Is there any update on this man? Do we even know if this young man is still alive?
No update. This is so shameful and disgusting what they're doing, what Secretary Noam is doing, what Donald Trump is doing. And just to be clear, this is someone who applied for asylum the way we ask people to apply for asylum. He signed up on our system, which is our asylum system. The United States government, us, we give him an appointment. Say, come to the border on this day at this time. He shows up for his appointment that we give him. And then as we're processing him, and he passes his first process, by the way, they're like, okay, definitely he should claim asylum. We instead, at the border, take him and send him to a notorious prison in a country he's not even from, without any access to family or lawyers. And he's been there. There's been no proof of life since this young man was abducted now over a month ago, weeks ago, and sent to El Salvador. His family describes him as sweet, as delicate, as someone who has never committed a crime. His tattoos that Noam claims are gang related are just ridiculous. They're tattoos of a festival in his hometown that have basically his parents' names on them. And so it's really sad what's happened to him and others. And we've got to continue to uplift his case. And his case is moving its way through the courts right now. I asked Kristi Noem directly in a hearing if she'd do a check of life as a mother to give his own mother that sense that he was still alive, and she refuses.
Yeah, it's watching her is so frustrating because she never answers a question, and then she turns it around and say, "I cannot believe that you're doing this and you don't respect the American people." And you're like, "What? Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous." Lastly, I want to ask you about the so-called scandal around this new book called "Original Sin." They say it's a cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline, etc. Some people are saying it's an important conversation. Others are saying it is a distraction from talking about. And it plays into Republicans' hands from talking about the disaster that is the Trump administration right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we should be focused on what's happening right now. The reality is two things. One is Joe Biden has a record that he should be proud of and that the administration should be proud of, whether it was the infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, gun legislation that passed for the first time in a very long time, his protection of women and the civil rights of people is a record that as Democrats, we should be proud of the president and his administration. What we have right now, I mean, give me a break. We have someone that's talking about eating the cats and dogs that lies every single day, that's destroyed trust in the media, that is out there who oftentimes can't put together a complete sentence, who is literally spending his life enriching himself and his family, accepting foreign gifts, foreign jets, building hotels in foreign countries we're doing business with, launching meme coins, that's just enriching himself from foreign leaders. That is the scandal. That is what we
Mhm.
should be outraged about. That's what we should be spending much more time on our cable networks talking about. And so
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's crazy.
That was going to be my follow up to this. Is it frustrating to you that the news organizations aren't talking enough? I think every day it should be, at least the top of of the broadcast, talking about what a grift and how Donald Trump is enriching himself off of the presidency and the backs of the American people. But yet I don't hear, there's so many distractions that are going on that people are paying attention to and just arguing about it on cable television, and nothing gets accomplished.
That's right. I mean, the Emoluments Clause, and of course, that we have, that it literally protects us from presidents, others enriching themselves. It's being broken every single day. It's such an important fabric and part of who we are as a country and our Constitution. And the idea that Donald Trump is not just enriching himself, but his family, brazen corruption, selling essentially pardons, enriching himself in his real estate deals. I mean, it's happening every day. And I can't, the meme coin, just that one piece is the single largest probably corrupt action by a US president in modern history. And the fact that it's not being discussed every single day, he's literally opened up an account where foreign billionaires are just dumping in money to give directly to him and his family, and there's no accountability.
No accountability.
Insane.
Unbelievable. Do you have the Thunder or the Knicks?
The Knicks.
My man. Thank you very much, Representative Garcia. Hope that you come back early and often. Thank you. Continue doing the great work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.